We are covering the Hollywood obsession murder trial in Los Angeles. And now testimony is on hold there.
Yeah, Gareth Pursehouse, the defendant, he's on trial for the 2020 murder of his ex-girlfriend, Amie Harwick. Prosecutors allege he broke into her house and waited for her to return and then attacked her.
The judge is not allowing a live broadcast of the trial when the jurors are not in, but we can bring it to you once there's a break in court. And we just got a feed from the court of the judge taking the bench and talking to jurors after there was some discussion on the record but off camera. Let's listen.
I'm all for it. That's a good one. We are on the record in the matter of People versus Pursehouse. We have all jurors, including the alternates and counsel who is present. Ladies and gentlemen, the reason I had you sit in the audience is to advise you the following. The defense attorney, Ms. Bernstein-Lev, has tested positive for COVID. And so she advises of that. And Mr. Franzel, who is the co-counsel in this matter, is exhibiting symptoms of COVID. He's yet to have a positive test. It is believed that he may eventually show a positive test. She's asked if we could be dark this week in order for her to recuperate with the contemplation that we'll begin on the 11th. Now, I know that some of you already, one juror is going to Italy. That's not going to be frustrated. You're still going to keep your trip. Don't panic. And so we have contingencies for that. I know another juror has child care issues for 2 days, the 21st and 22nd. My bailiff did a very good job with this form. Another one has a teacher conference for the AM. One juror has a 3-day trip planned, right? I kind of hit it all on that. We're trying to salvage this case because a lot of time has been put into it. And so I know it's an inconvenience to you, and it's a frustrating situation, but you can't blame anyone. It's COVID, and it's on the rise again. Hopefully it won't get as bad as before. I don't think it will, but it is what it is. That's all we can do. So what we're going to do is, before you leave, my bailiff is going to get all your personal information, your phone numbers, and so forth. That'll be kept completely confidential. Believe me. The only reason we take that information down, we've done this in the past with other jurors. If we contemplate having you back here on the 11th, which is a week from today, if something comes up that we're going to have to, tweak it a bit, put it the next day or what have you, a couple of days, we'll call you so you won't have to waste your time to make that trip down here, okay? And so don't panic. To those of you that have plans and so forth, we're going to try to work around that. But we're trying to salvage this case. Good thing is that I have 6 alternates. And you guys have all been very diligent and very patient. And I see some of you are wearing masks, and for good reason. I'm sorry. I'm thinking I should start wearing my mask as well at this point. So I'm sorry, but it could not be foreseen, and these things happen. And there's no one to point fingers at. It is what it is. During the time that you're off, or any time, as I've admonished you all along this trial, please do not go on social media or the internet, look up stories about this case. That is extremely important they stay off of that, all right? And so my bailiff is now going to ask you, I'm going to ask you to step outside, and then we'll take your personal information. So, we already have it? Okay, believe me, that will remain confidential, just with us. And so be back on the 11th at 9:30, which is a week from today. If there's a problem, we'll call you and let you know, okay? I'm sorry. So you're dismissed. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. All right? All right. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
All right, so Julia, it sounds like we have at least one defense attorney tested positive for COVID, one with the symptoms, and they asked for a mistrial, which was to be expected now, but the judge was reluctant, he said, so he's telling the jury there to come back next Monday to see if they can resume the trial. Yeah, they've taken a lot of time already in the trial.
Yeah, he's trying to salvage this. You heard him trying very hard. Another thing that was said off the record and not in front of the jury, they questioned whether one of those attorneys could appear, the one that tested positive, appear by WebEx throughout. And I think that, that's unusual to see that happen. But
exactly.
It's an interesting change.
I hope they get better.
Of course.
And the show can go on. Let's talk more about this. Let's bring into the conversation criminal defense attorney and former prosecutor Marie Pereira in New York. Marie, so grateful to have you along with us. This happens, as the judge kept saying, it is what it is, unfortunately.
Yes, it is what it is, and I know he's invested so much time in this that for them to want a mistrial, I don't think that he would give it to them out of the gate like this, because COVID is something that we're still dealing with, and at the end of the day, if they can come back on that adjourned date and they are COVID-free and they test, it shouldn't prevent them from lodging a defense for him. It's not going to substantially impact his right to a fair trial to a level where a mistrial would be granted, at least not right now. It's COVID, it passes, and tests will verify if they're COVID-free and safe to be in the courtroom and assisting him with his defense.
Marie, can I get your reaction to this suggestion that the defense attorney could continue to represent their client via WebEx, via Zoom, not be in the courtroom, but be able to see it? Do you think that still allows for effective assistance of counsel if they're not sitting there at the defense table next to you?
I think it's a lot. I think you need to be next to your client. I think you need to be inside the courtroom. I think you need to see the demeanor of the witnesses you're cross-examining, to try to see what the person is thinking, their body chemistry. WebEx and something like this, no. I wouldn't want it, if I were a defendant, not to have my lawyer next to me at such a pivotal time when this is trial. It's not just a hearing, this is trial, and I think you need that human contact to be able to effectively represent your client and assess all the witnesses eye to eye that are coming to testify against him. I wouldn't do it. I would not agree, if I was a defendant, to proceed that way with my defense.
Yeah, I'm with you there. That'd be a little odd, not the best option. Hopefully everything moves forward. There are 6 alternates, if they happen to lose any of the jurors over time, but they can't watch any social media in the meantime.
As always, but
As
it's a break. It's hard to have that break, and we've seen those changes inside of the courtroom where the ups and downs of the pandemic, the extreme measures with the plexiglass everywhere, but we've seen that change over time. Who knows if we could be getting closer.
Defendant
to
wearing
that
a
again.
mask now today, taking those precautions, what the court has to do.